In Happy Harbor, Rhode Island, a huge wave suddenly flooded the town. This happened because a new island, the Secret Sanctuary, appeared, and members of the Justice League came out of it. In a place called the Bleed, the authority checked out what was happening in Happy Harbor. At the same time, something similar was going on in the Aegean Sea. Other strange things happened too. Titan's tower suddenly appeared on Rikers Island in New York, and a space rocket crashed in Siberia. People all over were left wondering what was going on. At Rikers Island, Jack Marlowe and his Halo Corporation were keeping an eye on Titan's tower. The prison was on lockdown. Marlowe got in touch with Majestic and sent him to the tower. Majestic went into the tower and was suddenly attacked by the Teen Titans. They burst out of the building, trying to escape. Most of the Titans got away, but Majestic went after Kid Flash. Meanwhile, Marlowe got into a fight with Cyborg. Kid Flash managed to escape from Majestic, but Jenny Quarks and the Authority were able to overpower Cyborg. In the peaceful town of Tranquility, a group of elderly residents, including Kevin Trueblood, Captain Cobra, Bad Dog, and Pink Bunny, were enjoying a card game. All of a sudden, 3 regular-looking guys came up to them, expressing their interest about the town. These 3 men introduced themselves as Alan Scott, Jay Garrick, and Ted Grant. In Siberia, Stormwatch was sent to assist the Russian military manage the situation involving a crashed spacecraft, just in case metahuman issues emerged. The Russian commander-in-charge strongly disagreed with Stormwatch's involvement and didn't allow them near the spacecraft without approval from Moscow. Without Stormwatch's knowledge, Chameleon Boy and Invisible Kid from the Legion of Superheroes were secretly watching their every move. They returned to the crashed spacecraft with the mistaken belief that Stormwatch and the other heroes were actually the villains in this situation. In a trailer park in Larkin, Arkansas, Superman entered one of the trailers. Inside, he discovered a lifeless man with a throat wound. Superman then quietly entered the bedroom of a sleeping teenager. Gently, he touched the teenager's face and softly said, "Never again." In New York City, the Gen 13 team found themselves under attack in their home by Starfire and Wonder Girl. A big fight happened in the city, but the Gen 13 team fought off their attackers and got away. Meanwhile, in Siberia, the Legion of Superheroes decided to study the metahuman heroes of the Wildstorm Earth by hacking into the planet's computer systems. They observed that these metahumans had significant control over the planet, especially through the Authority. The Legion planned to attack Stormwatch before they could act, similar to what the Titans did to Gen 13. At the same time, the Justice League was preparing to getting ready to face the Authority, as Chimera Lad was determined to eliminate these heroes. On the carrier, the Authority, along with Jack Marlowe and Majestic, were examining the captured Cyborg. They tried to communicate with Cyborg, but he criticized them of not being true heroes and warned them about the Justice League. Just like Cyborg had predicted, the Justice League entered the carrier and quickly took care of Swift and the Doctor. Meanwhile, Midnighter and Apollo were in the Aegean Sea, observing the emerged Themyscira, while Jack Hawksmoor checked the damage in Athens. However, they were urgently called back to the carrier. A battle unfolded between the Authority, Majestic, Marlowe, and the Justice League. In the struggle, Green Arrow lost his life at the hands of Midnighter. Ultimately, Apollo, Midnighter, Majestic, and Marlowe were overpowered and captured by the League, while the rest of the Authority were forced to retreat. In Tranquility, the Maxis found themselves facing off against with Alan Scott, Jay Garrick, and Wildcat, who revealed their true identities. They were soon joined by the rest of the Justice Society. The Legion launched an attack on Stormwatch and the Russian military, displaying a show of strength that greatly alarmed Bouncing Boy. However, Stormwatch fought back, and Element Lad lost his life at the hands of Hellstrike before they retreated. The Authority arrived at the Halo Corporation in Los Angeles and explained their sudden departure from the carrier to Zealot. In response, Zealot told them that Halo teaming up with Stormwatch indicated that the new heroes were starting attacks for no reason. She, based on her military analysis, believed this was more than just a simple conquest. Their only option was to mobilize all available metahumans into independent strike forces against these new heroes. Suddenly, Superman, Green Lantern, and Batman tracked down Zealot and the Authority. In Tranquility, the whole area turned into a battlefield as the empowered townspeople clashed with the Justice Society. Luckily, Grifter and the Wildcats arrived to help the townspeople. Wetworks, with support from the Vampire Nation, were sent to the Aegean, where they faced an army of Amazons. Back at Halo's headquarters, Zealot and the Authority engaged in an intense battle with Superman, Green Lantern, and Batman. Zealot fought Batman, and, in the heat of the battle, she tragically killed him. Superman, very sad because Batman died, stopped fighting and quickly went to where his friend had fallen. A wounded Zealot admitted that they had fought fairly and acknowledged Superman's compassion for his opponent. She was ready to be killed to avenge Batman. However, Superman, realizing the gravity of the situation, refused and told Green Lantern to stop fighting. He began to question their actions and wondered why they were even there. Superman was then contacted by John Joneses, who revealed that, "Chimera wants this done." Superman inquired about who Chimera was, seeking answers to this mysterious force behind their actions. In Larkin, Arkansas, the young teenager who had been visited by Superman muttered the word "no" in his sleep. Stormwatch regroups with what's left of the Russian military. They get help from Deathblow and Warblade just as the Legion shows up. On the carrier, the Justice League tries to make peace with the Authority and other heroes. They explain that they aren't from this world. They were brought here by a kid named Chimera in Larkin who can change reality. This puzzles Jenny Quarks, who wonders why Chimera didn't just use his powers to wipe out the Wildstorm heroes. The Doctor chooses to seek advice from the other doctors regarding this matter. Superman also notices that Chimera might be right in thinking the Wildstorm heroes are villains because they don't mind killing. The Doctor goes into the Garden of Ancestral Memory and has a chat with the doctors who came before him about Chimera and what's happening. He discovers that the DC heroes are actually created from Chimera's dreams. Chimera has limited power to change reality, and he got these heroes from a dream world called the Athenaeum, which holds everyone's dreams. Chimera took a book about the DC universe from there. The doctors also reveal that Chimera was supposed to be the next Doctor after Jerome Thorndike. But they said no to him because he did things without thinking and thought too much of himself, lacking the discipline needed for the role. In another part of the story, the Justice League successfully convinces the DC heroes to stop fighting. Wonder Woman prevents the Amazons from clashing with Wetworks in the Aegean. Green Lantern comes in to stop the fight between the Maxi and the Justice Society in Tranquility. In Siberia, there's a tough battle between Stormwatch and the Legion, resulting in some legionaries losing their lives. The Flash manages to end the fighting, and the members of the Legion start thinking clearly again when they remember their promise to never harm anyone. Meanwhile, in New York, Gen 13 and the Teen Titans are still locked in combat. The Atom tries to intervene but gets knocked unconscious and stepped on. In the story, the Doctor ventures into Chimera's dreams to talk to him about his actions. Chimera shares his painful past, explaining that he suffered an abusive life after his mother's death. He blames the heroes in his world for his mother's death and his own struggles. The Doctor attempts to convince Chimera to stop what he's doing. In the real world, Apollo and Midnighter wait outside Chimera's home, hoping for a peaceful resolution. However, Midnighter, impatient and eager to end the situation, wants to deal with Chimera more forcefully. Apollo, on the other hand, recommends being careful. Suddenly, a dangerous being named Doomsday, summoned by Chimera, grabs Apollo by the neck, adding a new layer of tension to the unfolding events.